It's not to make you feel like you're never going to react a day in your life, of course, because if you don't react and you don't get the pain out of your body, you don't get the root cause, you just leave it stuck in your body. So it is important to understand that your emotions are here as data and as information to help you. And that is if you could remember that, if that's the only thing that you get out of this whole workshop, that's amazing, because you know that you are not your emotions. You can start asking yourself, where do they come from? Your life experiencing itself. There's no such thing as being behind a timeline. You have to do this or else. You might be lost. You might not know what direction to take, but it's just because you are disconnected from your experiences and why you're doing the things you're doing. When you start questioning yourself and you start realizing that the external can never fix anything that you feel, anything that you believe in, that all comes from really the awareness. Because when you become conscious of, oh, I'm reacting right now. Why am I reacting? You immediately are not one with the ego. You're not one with the pain body, and you're not reacting with somebody else's pain body or reactive trauma or whatever. You guys are just talking to each other's ego. And there was this perfect explanation from this book. I forgot what it was. I'm going to put the book name below. But it was about how someone goes to the store, maybe you go to a restaurant and it's like a waiter, server, whatever, you're just a customer. You're going out into the world, you're perceiving how you have to act towards that person, and you become this fake persona, this fake personality, because you are already perceiving what you have to do. You have to play this role to this other person. And this other person's like, this is a customer, or this is he or she is already judging you based on what they believe in, and you guys are now talking to, it was so trippy, you guys are talking to each other's ego pretty much. You guys are talking to these roles that you have literally accepted that you will play, and that's why some people argue, and they're not even arguing with each other, they're arguing with each other's egos, their roles that they have played. And then in the book it said, no wonder why there's so many troubled relationships, because we're not even talking to that person. We're talking to each other's roles or each other's ego, and that mind fucked me. And that's what you have to understand. You're not your reactions, you're not your emotions, you are experiencing them. That's the first thing, that if you can become conscious of your reaction and ask yourself, where did it root from, or what does it represent? Why do you feel this way? And really just start asking yourself why. It's going to change everything for you. It's going to start connecting you back into your body. You might even be able to just breathe and stop the reaction and then work on whatever it is. Remember that you're not a project. You do need to experience life. You do have emotions for a reason. They're all data just to get us ahead, move forward, not ahead as in you're behind, getting you moving forward and not letting that dictate who you are, and not creating a personality out of your wounds, your insecurities, the trauma, the pain body, like I call it, or your ego. And you will start seeing how it starts to dissolve, but it might try something else. So becoming aware is the first thing to get your outer world and your inner world together. Because when you do that, when something foreign happens, you're like, okay, let's shift this. Like, what the fuck was that? What does that mean? You know? And you don't shame yourself. You're just like, oh my gosh, like, I become so connected with myself, and I don't identify with anything outside of myself. I identify as my consciousness, and then you start to, and it's also trippy because it's like when you start identifying, oh, the ego's playing out right now, I feel it. Even if you're still talking and you're like, I feel something that's not, like, I'm reacting, that's not me. And then you expand your consciousness, you become another consciousness, which is so cool. So the ego doesn't have connection with the body. It has only the mind, and when we're in our mind, we start to get stressed, we start to get physical symptoms, and it's so important, and I have to remember this as well, like, shake out, go on a walk. If you're posting, don't stay still, don't check analytics, like the automatic mind telling you things that need to happen, the fixed outcomes. We create the same emotional experiences through these automatic habits that have been there for God knows how long, and because we keep identifying with the ego and our pain. But if we actually can not only forgive, but just understand that it is not us, that we are way more than our physical body, than our emotions, than our stress, than the things that have happened to us. And of course, there's more modalities, there's more tools to get to this. And another example I want to give with this, like, your subconscious is running all day, and when you're in a default mode network, so like when you're doing the dishes, when you're cleaning, when you're showering, when you're driving, when you're doing something that doesn't require you to think right now about something. That's why some people don't like to sit with their emotions or meditate or anything like that. You may start experiencing an event that happened in your life that was emotionally charged, and it might be replaying because it's stuck in your body. And then you start experiencing it as if it happened. Your heart starts beating, you start identifying with it. It's there to help you. It's not anything to be scared of. It's not anything to be like, oh my God, I'm fucked. Like, no. It just means that you have to get out of your body. You have to maybe write angry letters, let yourself express yourself. You don't have to go to the person to do that, because I mean, especially if it was an emotionally charged situation, their pain body, their ego might just be replying back to you, and you cannot get someone to understand you. That's also like needing something outside of you. And just realize that that situation does not define you, and it happened because it was a reflection of whatever you feel. That situation didn't happen because of the situation at surface. It happened because there was a deeper root of why you got triggered, and vice versa with the person. So understand that everybody's experiencing the same thing, and if you can get yourself to wake up and be like, it's not really worth it, and I do want to release this, and it might take a few weeks, it might take like a year, but the more that it comes up, it's coming up because it wants to leave. So if you don't identify with it and you let yourself express yourself through music, through writing, through being upset, letting yourself be mad, and then just saying, okay, I allow this to, let go, release, having yourself understand that it is not you, that's, you forgive that, and you know that this can shift with a different belief system. But this is why we're walking around and just like interacting with each other's egos, or our life is mirroring the energy that we're producing in ourselves, even subconsciously, because there's beliefs. You can use your beliefs for the best of you or for the not so best of you. That's the only, that's what it really is. When you realize that someone is like road rage, that person doesn't really care about the traffic. They were already in fight or flight. Their nervous system was already hijacked. And most of the time people hate traffic because they hate staying still. They hate feeling stuck. They probably feel stuck in one or more area of their life. So everything has a root emotional cause. And when you understand that you're interacting with people's pain bodies, emotional trauma, and you're like, I already have like my shit going on, so like just don't even get into why they're like, the when you start putting blame, you lost it. You lost you're just igniting the ego. You're just reinforcing those beliefs in which you'll continue to create those situations, those emotional outbursts or triggers. But you just have to, after you release you could be mad about it 100 times. Do not let it stop there. Actually ask yourself why you're upset. What does this represent? Use different modalities and tools to let it go. Once you become more conscious of it though, you will start actually, oh my God, my body's like living. So that's why the whole time isn't real thing. Our body's literally reproducing a feeling of an older time that we did not really like because of our perception of it. And so that means that we can become emotionally charged for really good things in our life, really good beliefs, and have a baseline of joy and contentness that's balanced and not be like this. That's another layer to becoming emotionally whole, understanding your internal world, and then you'll start seeing your external world change like immediately. And it won't be drastic changes, but like trust me on this. Life, your creator field, will give you an opportunity to do these things like once you're aware. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm so lost, life is hard, and now I'm like triggered all the time. This is the time to release. And now that you know this knowledge, you can be like, this isn't me though. Like I could still return to a baseline. I could still do something that I enjoy. I have the freedom to, even if it's small things right now. There's a whole different thing that I have about like living your dream life in any circumstance, that I cracked the fucking code. So I'm excited to continue building that framework and experiencing it for myself, but this is like the foundation of what you should know before you try and do that and change your life.